streaming. Alright. I have clicked live. Why has it not shown upon yet? Oh, okay. It's on the wrong tab. Alright, guys. Let's go ahead and post all these links. Ain't no time like stream time. And my channel. Channel community. All right. Let's open up this bad boy on my phone. Hello, Symphony. I'm doing well today. Looking forward to streaming like every Sunday. Very chill day. Literally, because I got my tortilla blanket. Tortillas representing. Let's see. Finally got the decorative pots textures working. Also, thank you, Lightfoot, for doing the rest of these. Although I will say, this particular texture looks more like a luchador mask than it does a skull. But we can work on that. It still looks good. It still looks creepy. It's just not what I was expecting at all. I like it. Alright, what are we doing now? So, I mostly loaded up into this world so I could work upon the decorative pots. I'm trying to decide now what I want to work on, or what I'm feeling in the mood to work on. So on one hand, I still have all of this area to work on. I still have the Miners Guild to work on. Still have the Guard Tower to work on, the Mage Tower to work on. Filling in all the little bits and bobs along the way. We'll see how people feel when they get here. Until then, I think I'm just gonna work on this. My mouse wire is getting stuck under my keyboard. What is even going on? All right. So how you doing, Sim? I feel like that music is just a little loud. Let me check real quick. No, I think it's just loud on my end. Or at least feels loud. Hey, gamer! I don't think I've seen you at one of my streams yet. Welcome, welcome. Always nice to see, well, anyone, but especially a new face. Alright, let's see. What do I feel like doing today? I still desperately need to fill that spot with something, but I'm not sure what. Oh, heck yeah. congrats on the finals. I hope you've done well. Although I'm sure that's not an issue. Okay, let's see. What do I feel like working on? See, originally I wanted more alchemy stuff over here. But maybe I don't need more alchemy stuff. I'm not even sure what I would do with this. I think I really just need to start and see what happens. But for now... I don't know, let's work on this guard tower. We'll just do something really basic and then we'll work on making it look nice. So that seems to work for me the most. I don't know what song this is, but I'm digging it. This is Ocean Waves, which I have no idea what game that's even from. Okay, so my original idea was there isn't going to really be a traditional way to just walk up to the tower. Although, I am thinking that perhaps there is a crane somewhere that would either be used for, like, hauling up supplies, or, I mean, if they're feeling lazy personnel. So I was thinking like a long one kind of arcing over and then dropping down. Ooh, maybe on the side of the building would look nice. I like that idea. I like it a lot. So I'm thinking, so on the back, there's not really a lot of room. Over here, there's not a lot of room either, but there's more room. On the front, it would just be kind of hard to get to. So yeah, I'm thinking like right about here. I was thinking centered. We will see. We'll see. I'll just have like a little platform, kind of like the other ones. We'll see how it looks. And then maybe like a door here? Maybe not like directly here. Bang, bang, bang. Sound effects. Which, by the way, speaking of sound effects, I've recently just watched Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. And the original Scott Pilgrims never really appealed to me, I guess. Like, it's not that they're bad, they just weren't really my vibe. But this new Scott Pilgrim's really good. Digging it. 10 out of 10. Actually just watched the last episode last night. And again, really like it. Ooh. Kind of really digging that aesthetic. I'm not sure how well it's gonna work overall. You know what? I kind of want to see where this goes. For sure. Oops. There we go. See, I've done this like at like the side of doors before, but never as like a full wall. Oops. See, the other thing I could do if I wanted to do kind of like walls like this is I could use like actual wall blocks. There's just something about that. See, I really... Oops. First of all, I need to do that anyway. See, I really like this. I just wish you could go up. So... But unfortunately, there's not even wood walls that you could even do kind of like in the middle with. See, I just want that up like one higher, and that would be perfect. But unfortunately, there's no like sideways slabs or anything like that. I mean, that still doesn't look bad. It's just not what I wanted. Let's see. So the question is, can I somehow save this? I guess the alternative... You know what, let's see like this. Now this just looks kind of bad. At least maybe not centered with the door. Maybe at like the bottom or the top that could look really good. Theoretically. It's kind of like a divider without actually being a divider. A little texture. It's an interesting idea, but it's not going to work for my purposes, unfortunately. The other alternative, I wouldn't say alternative, but the other thing is I usually like to do like little beams right here. That wouldn't quite work, at least near the door. Well, I wasn't considering putting it by the doors anyway. It would be kind of a divider at the top. Really depends on how I want to do this. Well. Ooh, you know what? Alternating like that doesn't look bad. See, my issue is that it's all the same block, all the same color, all the same texture. So even though depth-wise it's very interesting, it just doesn't work visually. Oof. Big shot. What is this from? Oh, it's the guy with the yellow and pink glasses. What is that from? I don't know. Okay, so let's see. I think I do want to do supports regardless. I definitely want to try to do a different base than cobble. Let's see, I could just have the door be different. So maybe it just needs a frame. And then I could do something like this all the way. Ooh. See, again, I like that, but it's not ideal. So what if we did a divider in between them? Oops. Yeah, good call, Danger. I realize there is a little bit of lag with the stream, as well as just me getting hyper-focused on what I'm working on, so I apologize for the delays. No. What if we do... Hate No Village? Or Hateno Village? I think that's from... That's gotta be from Tears of the Kingdom. It's the older Pura. I don't recall hearing this music, but that could just because I wasn't paying attention. Okay, it's a little weird having that at the bottom because of how the floor is. Oh, I'm almost certain this isn't gonna work because Minecraft sucks that way. I mean... It could work. Like if you're up against it, it definitely is noticeable, but from a distance it isn't too noticeable. So like theoretically you could have different things going on. I don't think I want to use deep slate because, again, surrounded by deep slate, so it would blend in. Maybe sand rock. Maybe red sandstone. We can go with all the basics: granite, andesite, and dorite. Don't want to do cobblestone. Actually, I have a weird love-hate relationship with this cobblestone. I like it, but it's just, I don't know, too gray. I feel that's the problem with a lot of our stone. I need to see what I can do about that, because it just seems too boring in a way. I don't know how to describe it. I'll have to look at some cobblestone textures from other packs and maybe even other video games to see if there is something I can really pull from it. At least as inspiration, because I'm not talented enough to make that texture on my own. I feel like splashes of blackstone could be good because it definitely pops even on the, because this is like a bluish black, almost like obsidian is. Well, I guess not our obsidian, but typically. Either way, it definitely pops. Like, oops. Yeah, like total difference. Ooh, that would be interesting to use some blackstone near some like water to show like the dampness of a block, I guess. Kind of like you do with logs, use like a darker one near water. I was even testing that a little bit around the that lava pool back by the waterfall over there when I was using logs for support near the lava. I kind of made the bottom ones look charred. Okay, so let's just get a basic wall going and see how it looks from there. Oops. Did I reload the shaders? So really just experimenting with a palette right now. So definitely don't like, I mean, that could work. It just needs, it definitely needs some dividers or something. That would also be really good for like all those cottage builds you see where they're all like white walls. I mean, they're a lot more smoother, kind of like plaster, but that looks good for that. I don't think it looks good for what I'm doing. It's not a bad block, so we'll put it to the side. Almost certain andesite isn't going to work for this. I mean, we can always add stripes of colors with the different walls. This could actually work, actually. Andesite? Yeah, I'll put you to the side. I think one of the things that's throwing me is this bottom. Oops. So we'll just do that for now. Which actually looks pretty good too. You know what I could be doing, and why aren't I? Okay. That actually looks really good. It adds a little bit of color without being too obtuse. Because, like, white kind of fits, because, you know, maybe, like, paladin. But at the same time... Again, this also is a really good texture for, like, a cottage. You know what I mean? Especially because it's a wall. I do also really like that they essentially made walls into half slabs, even though they're not a perfect substitution in the slightest. But I do like that they did that. It looks really good. Wait, I know this song. Deku Palace. Okay. Hello, Easy Breezy. Easy, breezy, beautiful streamer girl. That's a good tagline, but don't get sued. Wall. Yeah, the first ones are like none of the things I want. Whew. That's dark. The good news is I can really see it from a distance. brick wall? I don't think so. Oops. It actually doesn't look bad. It really gives that stone look without being too... What's the word? You know, I almost wonder, because like the grout on this looks really good. My problem with our stone bricks is that like it's all just the same thing. The thing that really pops for this is the grout texture, and also the various off-color bricks looks actually really good. This is just all one color. It feels like it's the same depth. Ugh. It just needs work. I have the same problem with all of our basic stone things. Call you P-tube? What? I mean, I know of other reasons why you might be called that, but I don't want to assume. Ugh. Ugh. I guess that wouldn't be terrible as long as I did a different base. But I am all about that base. And... You know what, let's do sandstone. Bang. That looks good, but definitely not what I'm going for. Sadstone. Red sadstone. Oops. Well, I guess... I mean, I guess that gets the point across regardless. Ooh, that's weird. Because it totally looks different. Maybe it's just because of the lighting? Yeah, like, lighting kind of lets it through and totally changes the color. Like, that's a much more vibrant red somehow. Even though it's literally the same texture. That's crazy. I'm not sure if that's a shader thing or just Minecraft in general being wonky. But that red does actually look nice. I think I've already stumbled upon that. I really like the red. What else did I like? There's another one we did. Granite? I really like the granite too. It's a little bit more subtle. What other red one was there? I think it was just those two. I guess I could try the nether brick and regular brick again. I think those are the ones I'm flopping around towards the most. I do also like this command style thing because it allows me to swap between them easier. Brick. Does look good. Ooh, you know what? Maybe if I did a brick base. Huh. Interesting fan base is what I would put lightly. I think anytime you have a female streamer, you're gonna have a weird fan base. I mean, honestly, I have a pretty weird fan base too, but kind of in a good way, not in a bad, weird way. What else? That reminds me when I came back originally, like 2 years ago now, because it was before I went to trade school. Ooh, it might have actually been 3 years ago. I came back and I made a Patreon, and one of my fans, I'm not sure if they were trolling me. I don't even remember who said it, honestly. I'll have to look through the backlogs, but someone was just like, "Oh, you should also do an OnlyFans." And I was like, "Okay, that's really neat. I'll look into that," because I've never heard of OnlyFans prior to this. And I went and checked out the website, and I was like, "Okay, I see what they're doing here." And then I looked up more about OnlyFans, and I was like, "Oh, Oh no. Maybe that came from an innocent place, but definitely not what OnlyFans is used for. In fact, if I were to make an OnlyFans account, regardless of the content, I'm pretty sure people going there would expect something dramatically different. Might ruin a few childhoods while I'm at it. Okay, so definitely not the brick base with the walls. That actually looks fairly good. Thank you. I just don't know if I could do that and also be a very positive influence on people. How horrible would that be, by the way? Like just imagine, just for a second, imagine like, oh yeah, my kid loves watching Tyken and all of his cool Minecraft videos. And then you look up the Patreon, it's like, oh yeah, I want to support him. And then you also find out that they also have an OnlyFans, and you're just like, what kind of YouTuber is this? I just don't think I can have my cake and eat it too. Although it would probably make a lot more money than YouTube. I mean, technically I'm not making any money off of YouTube right now, so anything would be making more money than that right now. Okay, oh, I'm a little concerned. Okay, that is a different enough red. That's more of like an orange red. I think it could still work. You know what? Also, so granite stairs. Oop, that's the wrong granite. What if we could do something like that? Yep, nope, you can definitely tell the difference. That looks... I mean, that doesn't look bad. I'm sure I could use that to my advantage somewhere. But right here, in this application... Oh god, especially for the top? Ugh. Good lord. Mojang, seriously, please, please. I mean, I'm sure I could fix that with my own custom models, but... come on, guys. To overhydrate the stream. I mean, again, especially, I don't know, I feel like as a woman, you could do pretty much anything on stream and you would have a fan base for it. There's just a lot of weird guys on the internet that will literally pay for anything and everything. Now, granted, there are also guys and women as well as everything in between. There are people that would also pay to watch a guy do the same thing. Well, not that I'm a guy. I'm mask presenting regardless, but it's still weird getting used to even my own pronouns. Anyway, I'm off topic now. I'm sure people would watch the same for me, but the fan base would be a lot smaller. Nether. Brick. Wall? There we go. Huh. Maybe that's what I need as a base instead, because that looks pretty good. Doesn't pop nearly as much as the traditional brick. What about... Oops. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, excuse me. Let's go back to granite wall. I don't think I could as easily just replace with stairs because it, for some reason, also directional thing. So I'm just gonna hard place these. I'll just do one side. That should work. That's an interesting color selection. my caves are so ornate. I'm not sure if we're still talking about Minecraft anymore. I know we're still talking about Minecraft, but I just wanted to make the innuendo. Thank you. Do you mean like the things I've done to it, or just the natural design of the caves? Because I haven't done really anything to really say these caves are like mine. So much just taking advantage of natural generation. I definitely want a base. We are. Okay. Let's see. I was thinking, what if I made... I don't want to say this because of the other connotations, but I cannot think of another way to say it. A larger flared base? Like, for instance, we'll just use this. What if we did something like this? And then this. So it's kind of like 2 layers before you hit the thing. And of course the tower would be taller to compensate. Oh no. We'll just get rid of these real quick, because that's bothering me. Have a natural beauty to them. Thank you. The larger base could work, but the problem is I'm already taking up a lot of this space. What I laid out was effectively the bare minimum. Although a larger base definitely allows for a taller tower. You know, actually, I have a really interesting idea real quick. Let's see how this would look in my head. I was trying to look over it in my head, but I can just visualize it. That's the best part about Minecraft. So how about, instead of a base at all, I'm going about this tower in the same way that people have been building towers forever. I mean, it, like, makes sense, because, like, that's the bases of tower building. I didn't mean to get rid of that support, but whatever. Never get rid of your support. Alright. I mean, I could still make the tower bigger by doing this as well. So, what if we did something kind of like a floating tower-esque situation? Something more like such. Stop it. And of course, we can raise or lower it to suit our needs. Then from like here, just not sure how I would do the whole ladder situation. So it would obviously need to be a ladder going up and down. I guess I could always do the trapdoor thing, but regardless. So I was thinking something like this. Maybe even like, let's just say this. So bear with me. This almost sounds like something from Willy Wonka. So I'm not really sure how I'm gonna pull this off. But I like this concept, where the base is actually larger than the tower. Something like this, which would also give it more depth. And regardless of if I actually put a base or not, because what I was thinking is this entire bottom section could be open, or perhaps more like a garage. So like, I could have walls, but maybe they're not like a weatherized wall, like for example, and then maybe, I don't know, something like that could be interesting. I don't know if I like that. Could also just be... Also not a huge fan. What if we just went one higher? That could work a little bit better. Either way, I was thinking like, you know, almost like a stable. And then this would be kind of like where you come and get all the things and just load them up here. We'll just hang these for now. Oh, actually, why aren't I hanging it from there? That makes more sense. But okay. I mean, either way, this could still work. And of course, if I at least made some of these a solid wall. Dun, 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 dun. Down, down, bum, 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 bum. Also, I love spruce logs. They're my favorite support beam. I'm sure a lot of you know that already. Okay, and then we could do the same kind of samey idea that we did before. It's like that's a door that's being opened up. Maybe have these as kind of like a track for the door. Something like that. It's the same idea. We can work on it, obviously. I mean, alternatively, we could also put the door on the inside, but that doesn't look nearly as cool. I was also thinking either stair, just to kind of show it doesn't go up too much higher. I guess it would theoretically go one higher, since, you know, the door's right here. I kind of like that, though, more or less. Yeah, I'm not sure. Either way, let's see. Majora's Mask? Song of Time. That's what it was. I mean, I guess that song was also in Majora's Mask. Okay, do I still want a stone base? That actually looks pretty good. Does cobblestone look better? I don't think so. Yeah, I think it just looks a little messy. I think stone brick looks a little bit better. What about stone stairs? Bop, 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 bop. So that doesn't look bad. The problem is, then I would kind of have to do that with that side, and then that... I guess it doesn't really take away from the edges. It does add a little extra depth. I guess I don't have to do... corners either. I think not having the corners actually gives it more detail. Which reminds me, speaking of paying people to hydrate, I need to get some water. I'll be right back. Alright, this one's a freebie for you guys. Hydration. While I was up, I also decided to grab something I talked about last week. Oops. Show you guys what I have been doing. So, this, let me get to my thing. This is one of the games I was talking about. The, Metabot, Classics Plus. It's a Switch game. You can see it's pretty much entirely in Japanese, almost. There's a bunch of English on there, and I'm not really sure why. Because it is a mostly predominantly Japanese game. Like, there's no English translation. So, the interesting thing about the Japanese games is not only is there plenty of English on even the most Japanese game, but on the side, you can see they have, like, the little rating, the little A right there. And there's different ratings. I'm not sure what that rating is. I assume that's kind of like, you know, like rated T for teen kind of thing. But it's like an ABC format. I haven't seen any others besides like ABC. But the cool thing is, I'm not sure if you guys can see it very well. Wow, that does not focus very well. But like, these are all the games that are included in it. Like, these are all like the original Game Boy game ones, which I don't even think ever came out in America. However, some of the original artwork for some of these is freaking sick. Like, the front one is all like nice and streamlined, and like that's the most modern version that I've seen ever, even as a kid. But then the older ones look actually like full-on anime robots, and it looks sick. Also in Japan, apparently they're called Meta Rot. I just remember them being meta, like M-E... like meta, like metaverse. But no, it's been meta, like metal. Okay, that makes sense. I've always called them meta bots. Anyway, it's meta bots, and in Japan it's just called meta rot. I don't know where the rot comes from. Anyway, this is a very interesting little Switch game because, again, loved meta bots as a kid, and the fact that they came out with a full collection of it was awesome. Unfortunately, it is only in Japanese, so that is difficult to enjoy, or at least to fully play through. Alright, let's get back to this. So obviously the walls themselves need some work. I don't want to do just wood. Although I do like the idea of what I'm doing here, and to kind of help transition that. Maybe not even stone. We can do a different block, but kind of a little staircase at the rim right here to kind of make it like a tiered tower. And then from here, we could just do something like this. Huh. It's a very interesting concept I have here. And then again, we could just do something like this. And then from here, kind of go up. So I don't necessarily like the wood walls. I think I do want stone of some sort. I also am not super sure about the stone right there either. I do like that, but it kind of takes away a little bit too. So we'll see how that works out. I also definitely want some more windows and such. Not that the lower floors are going to matter nearly as much as the higher levels. So effectively, how it's going to work, I mean, I guess exactly like you would imagine a traditional tower to work, in that all of the buildings would actually be kind of like all the rooms and stuff would be kind of like lower to middle tier, and then the watchtower on top. But since you're supposed to come onto this from the top, it would be more like you're stationed on top and you would go below deck, so to speak, instead of going up to your work post. I mean, it's technically the same thing, but in a little bit of a different way. Interesting. Which Zelda game is it? Because I'm not sure there's too many Zelda games that are Japanese only, unless I know a lot of the Switch games have translations built into them, and I know a lot of the earlier games aren't necessarily region locked, but they're kind of language locked, just because they didn't have the time or effort to put everything onto one cartridge. Kind of spoiled Switch games. In fact, 3DS games, I believe, are very similar in that way. I think at most one higher. And I'm just kind of throwing down whatever looks kind of decent for now, and we can just use the fill replace tool later. Again, probably gonna get a different block entirely. Here's what I'm thinking. I think maybe actually gonna go out a little bit further. Something like this. And then of course 1, 2, 3. You know, maybe there wouldn't be that big. So what if we use something like, I don't know, let's just say stone brick for now. No, I don't want to use the same wall, even if it's only temporary. Let's use cobblestone for now. 1, 2, 3. So it's support beams, but they're not super thick. And then from there, we'll just make a basic little roof, and we can work on making it look good later, because I am terrible at roofs. I'm sure a lot of you know that by now. Okay. I think that's a great little start. And then what we'll do is get some slabs. Slabs. Four Swords Adventures. Interesting. Well, again, especially if it's an older game, which it sounds like it is, chances are that it was released in Japan without an English translation readily available. Because, again, even some Switch games do that. They just don't have an English translation on them. Or they don't have both. I think that's good. I almost don't want to put a railing. Even though that makes sense, it would just be kind of harder to see over it. Could do something like this, though. For some reason, I thought that went like sideways for a second. I'm like, oh, when did that become a feature? Okay, that looks weird, but it could also just be that it doesn't have a full hat. See, it just looks weird. What do I do? What do I do? I guess I could just do something like this. Oops. Yeah, that actually adds to it more than it takes away, so I'm okay with that. Of course, that gives me a little bit more room for more of these. That's not a terrible start. Definitely is going to need some work. Oh, who messaged me? Oh, one of my friends. So I had a notification on my phone. Might actually want to make this ceiling one higher. So I do kind of want to make this a little bit more of a grand design. And it's going to probably kind of overhang anyway. We'll see how it works. So honestly, it could be a flat roof for all intents and purposes, but we don't want that. It's ugly. I know theoretically it shouldn't matter. Does it look better with a fully stone platform? With a smaller one in the middle? It do not. I mean, I guess I could get rid of the logs right there. I think the slightly bigger wooden platform looks better. Or, actually... Oops. Oh no. Something like this. So it's kind of like a little... I think this might look the best, actually. We'll find out. Oh, wait, no. This way. There we go. That actually looks a lot better. Okay, perfect. Fantastical. I definitely want the trapdoor to be on top. It's kind of in the way, but it's whatever. It's only a mild tripping hazard. I'll take the latter option. Heyo. The problem is this isn't very big for sleeping quarters. I guess they don't have to be good sleeping quarters. I guess there also doesn't need to be a lot of people here, so whatever. Let's see. Oh, hello, Larry. I did already check the pots. Let me show you real quick, since they're not too far away. They look good. I didn't check them all yet. Although I will say that this looks more like a luchador mask than a skull, but that's fine. They don't have to be a direct translation. And these also look ominous in a completely different way. It looks horrifying in its own right. Yeah, looks straight up horrifying. Like, I wouldn't want to... Like, I'm more likely to touch a barrel with a skull on it than a barrel with that face on it. Oh boy. Oh boy. The only other thing I was thinking is the, little gold rim at the top. Feels a little... like it doesn't quite fit. So I'm thinking maybe, like... I can't even think of the word. Match it to the rest of the pot? But either way, like, these are great pots. 10 out of 10. Everything I have to say is just, like, minor critiques. Ways you could improve it, but honestly, they're still amazing textures. For reference, by the way, I love to critique things, but never in, like, a negative way. I always like to, I don't know, just share my thoughts and feelings without complaining, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, I do realize that sometimes it comes off that way, so I always like to over-clarify that that is not what I'm doing, or at least trying to do. So what was it? The thing I haven't actually talked about recently when I went to Japan was channeling, hold on, Warhammer 40k. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I don't know what that looks like, but again, still looks horrifying. Still love it. But yeah, one of the things we went to it's been like 2 weeks now. One of the things we went to in Japan was, what is it called? Team Labs. We went to a Team Labs museum. It's these interactive ones, and I would say they're less interactive museums and more like exhibits with tactile. Not even tactile. They're not really that interactive. To be fair, the one we went to may have been less interactive. Still really cool exhibit, just definitely wasn't what I was expecting in comparison. And I have a lot of critique about this particular exhibit, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it was still a wonderful experience, would still highly recommend. I just like talking about the bad things as much as I enjoy talking about the good things, because it's a part of the experience. Anyway, so, when you first go in, they literally tell you, like, hey, throw all of your stuff into a locker, including your shoes, socks, and if you're wearing pants that can't roll up, you need to borrow a pair of shorts that they have. So we do all that, and literally the first thing you go through is this ramp, which is a waterfall. It's honestly pretty cool. You're literally walking up this waterfall, effectively. It's not like a vertical waterfall, it's more like a yeah, I'm using the right word, vertical. It's more of a slope, but the entire time you're walking up it, the water's just kind of rushing down at your feet, and it feels phenomenal. And the flooring it's very, what's the word, it's not slippery at all, but there's still handrails and stuff like that in case you're worried, but for the most part, really interesting way to start things off. And that's really just to clean your feet to get ready for the rest of the exhibit, which, like, immediately after you go up the ramp, you sit in a room and dry your feet off with a towel. It was cool though, because when you get to the top, they just have like kind of not necessarily a waterfall, but like water's just rushing down, where they kind of like cycle the water and pump it up. It's not just pumped up to the same level; it's like literally dropping down like a waterfall, which is a neat little addition. I feel something they didn't need to do, but added to the experience. And then what is it? I think the first thing we do is we go through this mirrored room. It's literally mirrors, floor to ceiling, and then it's just a big square room, but they have these LED lights, so these strips hanging down, and the light flows down in these patterns and in waves. It's very beautiful. At one point, it even feels like you're hitting like a warp drive, like all the lights are kind of rushing through you. It's a very beautiful experience, and the mirrors definitely add to it. It almost feels like an infinity room. In fact, there's like little pockets where you can just kind of pop off from the rest of the crowd and just enjoy the lights and the mirrors. It's a really cool experience. Highly recommend. Although kind of cold for bare feet, but again, not bad. You know, actually, a brick roof might look really good too. So anyway, after that, I may be getting the orders mixed up a little bit. But, so, what is it? You go through these hallways to kind of like walk around the other exhibits and get to where you're going. And it's pretty dark. There's a little bit of light, but for the most part, it's designed to be dark. Excuse me. And each tile that you walk on, not every single tile, but it kind of like staggers. It's almost like a checkerboard that you're walking across. And each tile has either a different texture or feel to it. Like you step over one tile and it's like soft and squishy like a pillow. And you step on the next one and it's almost like, I wouldn't say hard plastic, but you get the idea. Like there are like different softnesses, different textures, a different textile experience every time you step on a different one. Some are firm. It's just a very interesting experience as you're walking to your next exhibit. Like the hallway itself is kind of an exhibit in a way. And then after that, I think we don't need a really steep roof, so we're just gonna go slabs. You step into this other pool of water, and this water is actually heated, so it's really nice. I enjoyed it. And you kind of walk around. The water's like a milky white, and I was kind of curious at the choice for a second until we actually got into the room, and like the entire room is kind of like a projector room, and essentially it projects like these beautiful little patterns all over the floor, which look more akin to some of them are just like floral patterns and designs, and some are just straight up like they have fishes swimming around, so it actually looks like you're swimming with fishes. Although my only gripe is that, you know, it's a little too bright in there to fully get the full experience, I should say, and the projectors weren't bright enough, so it felt more like you were looking at a projection rather than an actual why can't I word? Oh, that's cute. I like that. It felt like you were looking more at a projection rather than it felt like you were looking at a, you know, actual fish or anything like that. I guess I could just do this and it would be fine. It's really only looking at it from one angle anyway. Oops. Oh, I guess I could just do that. And it works. Wait. I think I'm confused on what I'm doing here. I guess I could still... No, that's exactly what I'm still doing. Okay. That's not a terrible little roof. Could be better, but whatever. We'll work on it in post. So the room itself was very interesting. They would have random spots where it would just have like a huge like rainbow. Oops. like a prismatic show going on with the fish and everything. So far, from a distance, looks pretty cool. Now, granted, the overall color could be better, but I like the design. You're not going to really see the roof too much, so I don't think I want to put too much effort into that. I almost want to make the platform also wooden, because I feel like the stone kind of sticks out and not in a productive way. We can do... Let's do spruce. So yeah, that exhibit was really beautiful. I really enjoyed it. The walls were also mirrors, so again, when you walk into this room, it feels massive until your eyes kind of get used to it. Oh, hello, Risk. Nice of you to join. Dang, you've been watching me for a while. I appreciate it. Thank you. From Denmark. I taught you English. Wow. I feel like that's more on you than me, but I'm glad I was able to help that. Thank you, Risk. That all means a lot to me. It was an honor to be a part of your childhood, as big or as little as I was. I'm trying to be modest. It's really hard for me to not be humble, but I'm very happy I was able to make an impression and at least have some positive impact on your childhood. Thank you for stopping by. I would obviously love to see you again sometime. That sounds weird, actually. I'm trying to be sentimental and sweet, but it just sounds like like I just got... Like we just had a great date. Like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see you again sometime. But no, for real though, it's really great hearing sweet things like that all the time. And I also love staying in touch with all of my viewers, my friends. And in a lot of ways, I view you guys as more of my friends than my viewers. Which, by the way, feel free to join the Discord. I love keeping in touch with you guys. Shoot, what was I saying now? I'm getting distracted trying to build and talk. In fact, the whole reason I came back at all, by the way, was because I enjoyed having an impact on people's lives. Had more than a few people reach out to me, letting me know that I was a big part of their lives in one way or another. Whether it was just, you know, something to come home and look forward to every day, or, you know, my building style, getting them into Minecraft, or any number of things. I've had a few people even accredit me to their interest in engineering and architecture, which is amazing. And even you saying that I've basically taught you English, it's really nice to hear that I was able to have a positive influence on your lives, and it does mean a lot to me to hear that. Oh, hey, Twist. That is a good idea, Larry. My trip to Japan, I was actually just talking about a little bit, but overall, the experience in Japan was phenomenal, and I cannot wait to go again. Although when I can go again is up for debate. Because, you know, practically wage slaves. All of us. So yeah, was actually just talking about this interactive art exhibit that we went to. I have a weird relationship with this transition right here. What if instead of doing stairs, I just put slabs? Let's check it out from the front. I guess it doesn't actually need that at all. I just liked a little bit of a transition. Yeah, I feel like both take away more than they add. Or at least the stairs definitely do. The slabs at least kind of showcase that a little bit. I think a different material slab might work better. But yeah, so the room we were in is basically kind of like a fake aquarium that you're walking through, and that, like, you know, little beautiful designs projected onto the water, which is why it was white, so it would kind of show it a little bit better. Although, honestly, I think it might have been better if the floor was white and the water was clear, so it actually looks like the fish are swimming under the water. But, you know, just like one of those little critiques where it's just like, this is really good, but it could have done this better. There's also a little side room, although that doesn't really make it clear which way progresses through the rest and which are like little side rooms you can do things with. But I guess that's also part of the experience, like you're exploring and having fun. The other room was really interesting because the water was colder, and they had these little streams of water coming down, like a huge line. Ones you couldn't even reach out and touch all the ones too, but they were all like glowing, like they just had a light beam specifically on that one little drop of water, and there's a bunch of them. But if you reached out and touched one, it made a soft, like, harmonic noise, almost like I would say like a harp, but, you know, harmonic noise, and it would make just that one glow and turn off all the other ones. But the cool thing is, if you reached out and touched another one, it would also do the same. So, like, if you had a bunch of people, you could all reach out and touch different ones. It almost feels like some kind of, like, Easter egg thing, where, like, if you could somehow touch all of them, like, something would unlock. I know that is unrealistic, especially because there's no way you could reach back and touch some of the ones that were all the way back there. But still, really fun, little interesting experience. And then you walk out of that, and if I remember correctly, the next thing we did was like a Hue ballroom. Again, the problem with this room is they really loved mirrors. Mirror floors, mirror ceilings, mirror walls. And I get what they're trying to do, but I don't feel like it added to every exhibit. And especially walking around barefoot, it was just kind of cold and distracting. Like, again, it just kind of took away from the experience. You know what? I hate to say it, but I think the slabs just kind of take away from it. Especially, like, looking down. I also feel like that looks better without that, because then just the divider that's already dividing is doing the good job of that. Now, theoretically, I could also add a divider in the middle, like right about there, but I don't think it really needs that. We'll take one of these real quick, though. So the next interesting... Oh, yeah, the ballroom thing. So the exhibit implied that you could touch the balls, giggity, and it would, like, change the hues, and you could, like, bump them into each other to make, like, different colors. But in reality, they were just mostly stationary and kind of tethered to the floor, and were just kind of cycling through different colors like an LED light. And it was really kind of boring. Like, it didn't really do anything, and some of the lights were so bright I had to literally close my eyes. It was painful. Of course, that's just my light sensitivity, and of course certain frequencies of colors being a little bit harsher than others. But it wasn't a soft enough transition, and I don't know. It just was not an enjoyable experience, really, and it didn't really feel interactive in any way, and except for the fact that you could theoretically, like, roll some of the balls around and bump them into people, but, like, nobody was really into that, so you didn't want to be the one jerk bumping people with balls. I mean, some of the kids were doing it regardless, but, you know, a lot of people were just standing around trying to take pictures, and, you know, the one interactive part of that was kind of spoiled by the fact that nobody else was wanting to interact with that in any real way. I guess that's fine, exactly how it was. Okay, that's a good question. I'll circle back to the exhibit in a second. The best food I had while I was there, straight up the eggs Like, I know that's a bit of a broad subject, but like, let me paint you a picture here. I hate egg salad sandwiches. Absolutely hate them. So I love eggs, but I really hate like overcooked yolks. Like you can almost, I can literally taste the sulfur. It's freaking disgusting. I hate it. It's awful. I do not wish that experience on anyone. But anyway, that looks nice. Ooh. I'm curious how I'm gonna do this. So literally the best egg salad sandwich I've ever had in America was still worse than the egg salad sandwich I got at a 7-Eleven while I was in Japan. It's freaking ridiculous. The food quality in general, like the base level of food quality, is absurdly high. Just realized I'm getting a little bit of headache. So like even McDonald's or even what's the word? McDonald's and again like convenience stores, their food is better than most like places I've had in America. It's ridiculous. I guess it doesn't really matter too much where some of these are. This is like Tetris. Not what I was intending. I mean, that doesn't help at all. It still looks like Tetris-y stuff. No matter what I do, it still looks Tetris-y. There we go. Kinda. Anyway, excuse me. Went to a Denny's. Their food was good. Definitely not like an American Denny's. A, because it didn't taste terrible, and B, didn't leave me with an upset tummy. Convenience stores were amazing. There's also this ramen place we went to. Every egg I had there was perfectly cooked. There's basically like those egg rice omelet things where they have like a really thinly cooked omelet and they put it on top of rice. Delicious. A little too much rice to topping ratio, but otherwise good. Really good, really tasty. Then the what else? There's a ramen place with the little egg that you would put into it, and I almost didn't get the egg, but it was perfectly like jammy on the inside, like perfectly a soft-boiled egg. Like all the white was cooked, and then the middle was just like a perfect little ball of jammy goodness. It was so good. Again, just every egg I had there was consistently amazing, and then the egg itself was like a beautiful like golden orange. Where here, even the best eggs I've found are like most of the eggs are like a sickly pale yellow, and sometimes you get like a little healthier looking yellow, but you never get that rich golden. Oh my god, it was so good. Besides that, the ramen place we went to, by the way, oh my god, it was like a nice, really creamy ramen broth. It was so good. And I'm not a fan of pork at all. But was it katsu? I think it's called. What is katsu? I think katsu is, yeah, fried breaded stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. What is the pork on that called? Either way, the little slice of pork, perfect. Like, it wasn't soft and rubbery or anything like that. It was like a well done piece of meat, but it wasn't dry. It had like that nice, like, I don't know how to describe it. It was just like tender and moist, but still like had the texture of something well done. I'm not even sure how to describe it. It was good. Very good. think it might be better to just put small little pieces of lichen everywhere. That's good. Oh, maybe one right there. And then, let's see. Not only the eggs, but what... oh, the ramen. The ramen in general was phenomenal, as I mentioned. There was also the deer park we went to. The one, what's Dant DM? Is that spam? Owen? I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on with Owen Roberts or what they're trying to say. Anyway, so the deer park we went to, the one that like is famous for like having the deer's bow for you to feed them. They had this beautiful little udon shop in just like the middle of the park. Like it was just kind of like, it definitely wasn't like a spot you could really just go to without just walking there. It's just like a little kiosk almost. It was tiny. But it was freaking delightful. Literally. Oh, another MC YouTuber. Why would I look them up? Like, what, I should ask, what is the relevance of those YouTubers, Owen? Are you just kind of like advertising for them, or is that relevant to my builder conversation? Yeah, the udon place was delicious because I got a tempura vegetable, and it almost came in like a little puck, almost like a thick patty almost. And it was mostly fried onion, and it was so delicious. Oh my god. First of all, I love onions, especially fried onions. But in the tempura, it was the most delicious thing I've ever had. They also had a delightful little like matcha ice cream, where it was basically like a vanilla soft serve ice cream with a matcha glaze syrup. It wasn't quite syrup, but it was like, you know, I guess syrup is the best word I can think of. On top with like these little cake cubes on there to really kind of break it up a little bit. Freaking amazing. The Amazing Digital Circus. Again, I don't understand the relevance. Can you tell me why you're recommending them? So again, like I'll watch them if they're relevant. I just don't currently understand the relevance. How do I want to do this? Because I still want to have a crane. I guess the crane doesn't have to be on the building, but it kind of makes the most sense. Especially if you don't want like random things coming up here. Also should get rid of this waterfall. It's definitely not adding anything. How do I want to do this? Excuse me. That udon shop was delicious. I would go back to Japan alone just for that. Could also put it on the roof. What if I did something like... Ooh, I know. knew that was gonna happen. Not quite what I was envisioning, but it's a good start. What is this song from? Cass's theme. Oh, from Wind Waker, I imagine. It has a picture of the bird people. I have too many tabs open. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, some distinction. That looks good. How do I want to do this, though? Almost thinking like, not necessarily like a cage. I guess that looks more like a lift. I guess I could make it a little bit taller and get the same effect. I was kind of trying to make it look more like this one down here. Which again, maybe I should swap out the flooring of this. Oops. Okay, that definitely helps it pop a little bit more and doesn't blend in. Okay, let's see. How are we gonna do this now? First of all, previous topic, best food. Oh, so there are a lot of snacks, by the way. They're like cocoa pies, which are kind of like a little, it's basically like almost like a whipped cream filling. It's not like a, what is it? It's not like a moon pie. The center isn't quite like a frosting. It's more just like a cream. And then instead of like a biscuit, it's more like a little cracker. Let's say a cracker. It's more like a cookie. It's more like a cookie because it's like that got that crunch to it almost. It's like a soft crunch. And then the whole thing's covered in chocolate. It's delicious. In fact, you know what? Hold on. I think I have one. Haha. Good news, guys. I got one. Do a little snacking video here, right here for you. So it's like Loto Choco Pie? Whatever. So let me show you what this actually looks like. Thankfully, my partner saved me one. They loved these things. We brought back like basically a whole box of them, and I'm surprised they even made them back to the States at all. And they did not last long once they were in our home. My partner was very considerate. I told them they could have as many as they wanted, but to save me one, and they did. I know that's the bare minimum, but I've come from a lot of relationships where that's even asking too much. Okay, so this one's a little squished. A lot squished, actually. You can see just like a little, almost looks like an Oreo, because it's kind of covered in chocolate. It's a little crumbly. Aww. Oh. Very crumbly. Okay. So you guys can kind of see right here, the middle is like a little frosting. It's not quite a cream. Well, actually, I just contradicted myself. It's not like a... It's not a frosting. It's more like a cream. It's not marshmallow. It's like... I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like if an Oreo actually tasted good. And then... Can't quite see the cookie part that well. But like I said, it's kind of like a little soft cookie or like a firm biscuit. My camera does not want to focus at all. The best part is all of the individual elements are very undersweet. And it really allows kind of the flavors to kind of speak up for themselves and not like punch you in the face with sugar shock. It's kind of like if food is too salty, you can't really taste the rest of it. You really just taste the salt. Or something's too sweet. You know, it's just like one flavor kind of overpowering everything else. Kind of like ketchup. That's how I feel about sugar. Sugar just overpowers everything, especially how we do it in the States. All the sweet stuff in Japan is delicious and not oversweetened. So you can eat a lot more of it without feeling so bad, like physically. But also, you're not gonna get super fat off of it. I mean, you can still get fat off of it, obviously, but like, it's crazy. Even like their actual sweets, like the American kind of sweets, like their Kit Kats, they're still sweet. Like they're the sweetest things I've had. But also, they're for Americans, but they're not like punch you in the face sweet. Hey, Risk. I appreciate that a lot, but didn't we just have this conversation, or am I going crazy? Oh. Okay, so you added more to it. So good at communicating in English. So watched YouTube. Thank you, Risk. I appreciate that. Again. No sham. Alright. Sorry, getting distracted. So yeah, cocoa pies, really delicious. Not super sweet. So yeah, Shah, for reference, my Sunday streams are mostly just me kind of dicking around, having fun, chatting with people. Not super focused on Minecraft, although that is the focus. Not saying you're wrong for reminding me about that at all. Just letting you know what to expect. But I do appreciate you keeping me on track, because otherwise I'd be rambling on for hours, which I have. I have rambled on for hours before. So yeah, do appreciate you. Just also curbing expectations. And honestly, this is one of the reasons why I've started to enjoy Minecraft so much again, is because it isn't just me playing a game, it's me hanging out with friends, which is you guys, obviously. The longer ones just feel wrong for some reason. Huh. I guess we can go back to shorter ones. So yeah, the food is phenomenal. I've got every flavor of Kit Kat I could find there, or at least almost everyone. I think there's a few that we missed, just because, you know, we were walking by and we were like, oh, there's a new one, and then we just kept walking. Like there was some kind of like crepe flavored one, as well as like there was a sake one, but also like I think it's called like a sage or saga. I think it was like saga or something like that. It's kind of like sake's cousin. Which, by the way, the sake flavored one is terrible. It tastes exactly like sake. I'm not saying sake is terrible on its own, but an alcoholic flavored Kit Kat, not a fan. And thank you, Sha. I think this is good enough for now. It definitely gets the point across. Let's make it a little more point acrossy in that this is predominantly for storing stuff. And then what is the other thing? I realize in comparison, this is a little brighter than the other woods. Ooh, I have an idea. Not what I meant to do, but good enough. I don't want the fences to connect together, but they're gonna. So what if I just did that instead? Use birch to make it kind of look a little bit lighter because of that. I actually really like this little entry level to the tower. It looks really nice. I could dig this. I like it especially more because it's kind of like a drop base. Like you would kind of like, without actually going to your real house, it's just kind of like a little cubby for all your things, like maybe chests, work areas, and then you go up to your actual house. I like that. Teach me building in Minecraft. What do you want to know, buddy? What do you want to know, pal, brother? Or sister, or whatever your pronouns and identifications are. But, you know, I like using the term brother as a general term, especially because I'm union now. Everybody's a brother, even the sisters. It's kind of like how it's like your fellow man, even though women exist too. It's just kind of like saying dude or my guy. Just gender neutral, I feel, these days. I feel like that makes sense. Still not a huge fan of the stone floors, but I like it. Yeah, what do you want to know, man? I will give you any kind of building advice you're looking for. Although, you know, I actually want a hanging light. Maybe one more. What song is this? Ophelia the Cleric? I don't know what game that's from. Almost kind of reminds me a little bit of the song from Portal. That actually does look really good. The more details I add to this, the more I enjoy it. I don't really think I need a lantern at the tip. I do want hanging lanterns. Ooh, maybe something like see how that looks, first of all. I feel like that's too much lantern. Yeah, it totally has that, like, still alive tones to it. I need some way to have, like, a light hanging from a corner. I guess what I could do is perhaps something akin to, like... Actually, not hating that. Kind of feels weird to have it just on the corners. However, going straight across, I'm not sure. Actually, it's not a terrible idea. Do I want it that high? Because it feels kind of weird that high. Not bad, just weird. Also, do I want the same thing here? Or do I want something different on the lower levels? Oops. Wrong height. Upper level looks good. Lower level, no. I guess what I could always do is just have torches on the sides, which makes sense, especially lower levels. You can just walk around and do that, but for the upper floors, you would need some kind of walkway. Maybe even have like a little platform, like back here. I actually like the idea of there being a little bit of space right there in between of that one. I guess I could also put the stair right here. No, that wouldn't work because it would punch into that. Alright. I like how it looks like that flipped up. That's funny. See, I like that it's poked up like that, but it also kind of feels like it's in the way. Yeah, we'll mess around with it later. It's not a huge deal. There we go. It does also allow ladders to go all the way up, so that's fine. Okay, so people can actually climb down right here. Dump, 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 dump. And then precariously go around, reaching over and fixing the torches. It also gives kind of like an extra little vantage point for them to walk. It's kind of weird that it's that high, but I also like it because it's on the same level as the crane. And B, also the lights are essentially at the level I'd want the walkway anyway. So yeah, I actually really like that a lot. Now the bottom floor needs some kind of detail, but I'm not quite sure what. You see, guys, it's all these like little things, just kind of messing around, trying things, seeing what works, which doesn't. Because already this tower could have gone like several different ways. And it's still not even done. I'm just getting the silhouette done. Because all of the textures and blocks and colors can change dramatically, but the design of the tower itself is what's important. Now, sometimes you'll change things immediately just because you're like, there's no way that looks good even as a silhouette. How do I want to do this? So here's what I could do here if I'm going to change the walls. Something like that. And then I think I either liked granite or sandstone. Let's try both again. I think that's so weird. If you do this, then it kind of goes away. That's weird. What if you used a different wall? Pretty sure it will just combine, but I am curious. Yeah, that's weird. I don't like that. Because again, it goes like this all the way up until you do the top one, and then all the lights go away. I guess not if you do that. That is actually an interesting idea. Obviously, you couldn't do that on the front, but if we wanted to do that, we could do it on the back. And now we have a little bit of depth and texture. Could even continue to do so by doing things like that. Huh. Weirdly, it only works one direction. Huh. Oh, that's why. Does give another interesting opportunity to effectively allow me to do something like this. Hang a light off of that. Not that you're gonna really see the detail from back there. Maybe, hold on. It's good enough, whatever. I do actually really like that. It takes away a little bit of the wood texture, puts it where I feel like it needs it the most. I still feel like the stairs at the bottom, I like the idea of stairs at the bottom, but I don't know if there's any good stairs that will really add to this. Thank you, Risk. It's nice to have you around. Again, pop into the Discord. Would love to have you guys there. What if we just did something like that instead? Okay, let's see. I guess this one can stay that way because of the door. You know what? I think there's going to be a better way to do this. Fill. Oh, you already know who's in here. Granite. Replace oak planks. There we go. Easy peasy. Ooh, that actually looks very pretty. Especially with the soft light of the torches. Oh my god. Whew. That looks really nice. I almost want to do that with the other ones too. Here, let's copy that. Down, down, down. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Something's going on. Well, I assume you are, because you said some of us, as if some of us aren't already. So, oh no. I can only presume that that is the case. What is going on? Oops. Oh, is it because of the log? What? What's going on? I guess because it's not here, but like, why? Why do you do this to me? Why would you do this to us? What am I even doing? I guess I could just do that. Oof. I guess that does look a little weird, but whatever. You're not going to really notice it too much. That does look really good. Oh boy, that red. Mwah. Spicy. Now again, though, we need to get rid of that stone brick. I'm not sure what we're going to use instead, but the tower's looking better and better already. The walls are kind of a pain to deal with. Yeah, we do actually have people in an actual Discord. You know what? I will post the link. Actually, I'm not even sure. Can you copy and paste stuff from chat? I imagine. So it's under my... I should really just put it in the description every week. Make it a little bit easier. But let me go ahead and post that real quick for you guys. It should be under the... Oh, do I not have an about page? Yeah, it's under the about, like under my name. But I'll go ahead and post it. Bang. There you go. You guys should be able to click on that. What I could do is just replace the walls with a solid block, at least on this wall. But yeah, feel free to join the Discord, guys. A lovely little community. I'm a very supportive person, and I like to think that all of my friends there are too. And by friends, I mean all of you. Yeah, that wall seems a little bit weird because of it. I almost feel like the stripe doesn't look nearly as bad, but whatever, it doesn't matter too much. The main part you're gonna see is from the front anyway, and it doesn't look that glaringly obvious. So I think that's fine. What do I want to do? So let's just get rid of all of this stone and some of those logs, apparently. Because you know, we don't really need that. The logs, I mean. Honestly, looks fine without the stairs. I do like the idea, though, of there being a little bit of a flared base, but I guess it doesn't necessarily matter. The other thing I can do, too... Excuse me. Because, I mean, it's already pretty well supported. I can just go all the way to the ground like that, too, which I think actually looks better than the other side. What do you guys think? Logs at the bottom or no logs at the bottom? I guess right there is a perfect cross-section. Gosh, the only problem is, while it looks fairly simple and good for being simple, I kind of want complex. I just don't know if I can pull off complex. What other stair could I use? I don't think I can use granite. I don't think a different wood would work. I don't think a different stone could work. He's missing, doesn't look good. I also prefer the solid logs here, but it almost feels like it's too much, too thick. Needs a little bit more... What's the word? I guess that does look better, especially towards the top, because it's not nearly as much... We're hitting more towards stone area anyway. Dun, dun, dun. I think this is just from N64. Where is that? Like Lon Lon Ranch? No, Carico Village. No logs? Yeah. No love either. Try wooden fences? Wooden fences... Oh, for the support? The problem is that if there's already a lot of wood. I also really don't like that ceiling. Of course, it could also just be that it has a wood top. Sure, if I got rid of some of this wood, it would look a little bit better. If I just did like straight to the ceiling. Maybe brick isn't what I want. Maybe I was in love with the idea of brick, but not the actual concept. I think getting rid of all that will help. Oops. Missed a piece. Wow. Yep, that's what I thought. Oh, hey. Is this Kirby? I'm down for it. I just haven't heard any Kirby pieces yet. Yeah, greens. Freaking love me some Kirby. Oh my god. I guess since that's a solid floor now. So now I'm curious how I'm gonna actually get down here. Because of how this is. I guess I could have a staircase. It just seems kind of wasteful. I also don't feel like it really adds anything as much as it takes away. No, it's not gonna work. It's gonna have to go here. Like so. Yeah, this isn't good at all. Ugh. Ah! I'm not sure why you would want to contact me by email. I will give you a heads up. I do have an email for my channel, but I do not check it super often. But if you're interested in emailing me, it's just, I don't have that listed on there either. Let me pull it up real quick. It is, Tycorp. And this is specifically for, like, YouTube-related stuff. There you go. Netherrack bricks? That's a good idea. I will work on that in a second. I'm still trying to figure out the logistics of this hot mess. I guess I could always just have, like, It doesn't make sense. This whole thing doesn't make sense. Because, like, how would you get supplies to the top, then? I guess... Oh, stretch. I'd come up with something. Just give me a second. First things first. I want to make kind of like the living quarters. Oh, no. Problem number 2. Oh, wait. Hold up. Problem solved. Alright. Bad. How do I want to do this? Oh god, that doesn't look super cozy. You're like, oh yeah, oop, don't drop anything. But whatever. Just have a bed right there. Also, I'm curious, banner? Will banners stick to walls and not be weird? Oh, they will. Problem solved. Although that being said, oops. Can you... Oh, you can hang them just from the roof. That's nice. If I cannot hit anything else. Have a little... Can I control the direction of this? Because I don't want it that direction. Oh, no, you can't. You can't. Okay, okay. How did I solve this originally? I think I just used fence gates, but that might connect. That does connect. What if I did it this way? Haha, no, I don't think I want that. Fences. Oh, good, fences don't connect. But then that's the other problem of that just being in the way. Oh, wait, what about half slabs? It's probably not perfect, but hey, it works. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so now you're in your room. A little freaking cramped. Really freaking cramped, but whatever. Oops. Hey guys, this is my little room. I guess what I could do instead is just make it one higher, like one set of floors, and then do a... I do not like that it just... Oh god, what is wrong with our beds? Just do like a bunk situation. Oh, I just realized you can get a little bit more space by just doing this. That's fine. Actually makes me wonder if you could do... Oop, pardon me. Not sure if you guys heard that. I hope you didn't. Oh, could just do double bunks below. It really sucks for errors down here. Oh wait, no, that wouldn't work for the same reason. Actually, maybe, hold up. Also, really don't like that the beds are exploding like that. Oh yeah, it still wouldn't work for the same reason. Also, does that mean you could do the same thing on both floors? I guess so. My idea was just... Well... Again, I guess it doesn't have to be perfect, but I was... Good lord. I think a double bunk is fine, and then have room for something else. I doubt you would have more than 4 people here at a time anyway. Bump. Bump. And then some trapdoors. There you go. I guess it looks extra weird because it's not against a wall, so we'll just flip around to do this. Although I do not like the feng shui of this at all. Good enough, I guess. Hehehehe. I don't know why I thought that would be funny. Let's see. I meant first of all, Risk, no, you didn't do anything bad. I've just never typically don't get requests from my email, so I didn't, just kind of taken aback, I guess. But yeah, the beds exploding, I mean that they explode into the no textures. Like, that purple and black means there's no texture for the particles. But the beds aren't modified, so I don't know why they're doing that. Ugh. Stretch. Ugh. Please Discord your name. It's Tyken. Tyken132. If you join the server... should see me on there. Unless you mean my real name, which is Casey. I don't think that's what you're asking. I don't know why I'm putting so much effort into these things. I do like the idea of there being a window, but on the other hand, I don't think it's going to look good on the outside. Besides, they're going to get plenty of window time upstairs, so that's fine. Not really sure what I could really do in here. I think this is going to be one of those builds where it's more of a predominantly looks good on the outside but not the inside build. Because it's a watchtower, you can't really do much with the inside of it anyway. Oh, I'm so sleepy. Oh. I don't feel that great today, guys, honestly. TLDR, my psychiatrist changed providers? I don't know how to describe it, but they moved to a different place. And they did that right before I left for Japan. I've run out of meds. And basically, in order to see her again, I have to completely jump through all the hoops that is starting a new provider, which is to say, like a week and a half's worth of effort. And I run out of meds about a week ago, so I'm not feeling my best self this week. It's nothing major, like I can function without them, but it's a lot harder. It basically knocks back the difficulty of my life a few points. The biggest one being my antidepressant medicine. It's weird because, like, my depression isn't like, oh, I'm sad, which that is a legitimate... Oh, my hair. You know, that is a legitimate form of depression. It's just that my form of depression. My form of depression is I just constantly don't feel like doing anything. And, you know, that's not me being lazy because, like, I want to do things. Like, sometimes I'll, like, it's like, even stuff I want to do, you know? Even if it's a chore, but, like, even if I'm just like, hey, I want to play that new game I got. And I've just gotten a lot of new games for the Switch. But I just don't have the drive or the energy. Like, imagine not having the energy to do things even that you wanted to do. But, like, all the time, not just after a rough day. That's how I feel all the time. And granted, there's kind of ways to work around that, but for the most part, you're basically just putting in twice the amount of effort to do the exact same thing. And that's where my medication comes into play. It just kind of makes everything as easy as it would normally be. It's like nobody wants to give up free time to do chores or go run errands, but you do it. But then, like, imagine not wanting, imagine that feeling with everything. Even like cooking food or even going out to get like your favorite treat. You just don't feel like it. Ugh, it's terrible. Thank you, Risk. Psychiatrist is different than therapist. Therapist does more with the way of thinking and how you deal with things. Psychiatrist is literally medicine. It's kind of like having type 2 diabetes, right? Like, sure, there are things you can do to help, like a better diet, better exercising, but at the end of the day, you're never getting rid of the problem, and you're never functioning as good as you would be if you didn't have diabetes. kind of what depression is like. Like, there are things you can do to make things easier on yourself. But for the most part, at the end of the day, your brain just doesn't work the way it needs to in order for you to function correctly. Or not correctly. Function without a disability, I guess. I can't do the right words right now. Yeah. Larry put it a good way, lethargic depression as opposed to emotional depression. So basically it has nothing to do with my mentality. Nothing to do with it at all, because I'm not a sad person. I'm not a depressed person, at least emotionally. It's just I just don't have the energy to do things. Again, the best way I can describe it is, imagine like you're at work and it is such a draining day at work. You've had to deal with annoying customers all day. You've been working your butt off all day long. You probably even had to skip your break. Just even driving home, functioning optimally. Thank you, Larry. Even just driving home is a monumental amount of effort. And then you get home and you were just been so drained by your day. You don't even want to get in the shower. You don't want to even cook food. You just want the easiest solution because you don't have the energy to do even the most basic things when you get home. And that's how I feel almost every day. I think, in fact, one of the main reasons my new series, my Sunday streaming, has done so well in general is because of my medication has let me not have to deal with that dysfunction anymore, or at least not nearly as much. Like, I still feel it, especially days that I don't get enough sleep. Like, for instance, my depression is way worse on days that I don't get enough sleep or haven't been treating myself right, you know, like eating too much junk food or whatever. So there are like physical and even mental aspects of it, but it really just makes things easier or harder. It doesn't really get rid of the problem. So yeah, for the most part, that's how it's been most of my life. Just not doing okay. Like mentally, well, honestly, the stuff I've had to deal with growing up, I wouldn't say I'm above emotional depression either, but for the most part, it doesn't affect me as much. That looks a lot better. I like that. But yeah, it's more of the lethargic depression that has always got me. So again, just it's crazy, right? It's like that story from oh, what is the name of that guy? It's not Midas, the guy that everything he touches turns to ash. What is it? I don't know. Mythology. Everything turned to ash. Their mouth. Tantalus? Yes, that's it, Tantalus. Mythological king. Thank you, Risk. Wasn't Tantalus... I do not know my Greek mythology very well. Let's see, so... Trying to trick the gods into eating his son, he was made to stand in a pool of water beneath a fruit tree with low branches. Huh. Maybe not the guy I'm thinking of, or at least maybe a different mythology. Yeah, Midas is definitely gold. But there's this mythological figure where he was basically cursed that everything he ate turned to ash in his mouth. So, like, the finest wines, the finest foods. Literally just nothing could bring him pleasure. He could enjoy no things. It was a curse for pissing off the gods, I believe. But basically, he was cursed that literally nothing he enjoyed, no amount of enjoyment he could had would truly be able to appreciate it anymore. Like this, everything, the finest foods, the finest drink, the finest women, all were like ash to him. He lost all enjoyment of the things he would normally enjoy, no matter how great of a luxury they were. And that's essentially with how depression feels. It's just like nothing feels enjoyable anymore. And it's not being sad. I've never been truly sad, except for, you know, things that would obviously cause sadness. It's not like I'm always sad. It's more like, you know, sad for when sad things happen. But yeah, for the most part, it's just the inability to enjoy things, and that's exactly how I feel. Heck, it even sucks too, because it's like, you know, like, chores suck, but like after you've done them, after you've accomplished something, you kind of feel good about it, right? Like you feel good. That usually doesn't work for me, at least not all the time. And definitely more often with the medication. But yeah, it's just brains being weird, right? Because like on a physical level, my brain doesn't work correctly the way like, what is it? Livers? Is it livers? Or is it kidneys that produce insulin? If I could spell that right. Produced pancreas. God, I was off by a lot. But yeah, it's like a pancreas not producing enough insulin, or any insulin at all sometimes. So it's very much the same way. And for the most part, for most of my life, my depression has prevented me from doing a lot. Yes. For the most part, though, a lot of those mythologies are, I'm almost certain, based in like real world things like depression, ADHD, stuff like that. Or maybe the explanation to why those things came about, and it's not that that person, or at least people with the same condition, have pissed off the gods. It's so much that that became a curse to man because of those people. It's kind of like how, I don't know, like the whole Adam and Eve thing, I guess. Like, once they pissed off God, like, all humans ever since then have had to deal with stuff. Kind of the same idea. It's that they didn't just curse them, they kind of cursed humanity, in a way. But again, all of that stuff, all of the curses and things like that you've heard about in mythologies are just ways people, like stories people have come up with to explain the terrible things in the world. Because, I mean, obviously a lot of those things, there's no way a lot of those things could have happened, especially without no record left of them. Anyway, I'm getting distracted again. What do I feel like working on? I've kind of run out of motivation to work for this tower. That could just be my lack of medicine kicking in. But I feel like the tower is done. It is good. The only thing it can be really done for now is improved upon. And for the most part, I feel like... I feel like I've done that with a lot of builds. Like I'll work on things, finish them, and then go back and fine-tune them later. Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier. There's like a little cave system right here that would be perfect. So what we're gonna do is just kind of go forward. This is gonna be how we actually get to the tower. This is good. Let's do this, and we'll... I wish there were vanilla ways, like there are in Feed the Beast, that, oops, here we go. Maybe about right here. That allow you to break more than one block at a time, kind of like, I think hammers or sledges, whatever they are, do. So basically, I guess you know what I could do is just right where it goes down, I could just have it punch out of the ceiling instead of going forward more. I feel like that will work a little bit better in my opinion, actually. So about right here, have this come down, and then just immediately punch out of the ceiling, like right here, and begin ramping down, and then we'll just have like hanging chains, and then we'll come here and park right here. Or I think maybe on the side right here, because you don't want to block the main view. So yeah, like about right here, feels good. Oops, not that. Let's do, I don't know, like this. TNT, technically? Oh, yeah, I guess that's a good point. I never liked using TNT. It's a little too chaotic. It doesn't quite look natural. The start of this song almost sounded like a rap song. Found out from him. What is the name of that song? Okay, so yeah. This little cave system kind of wraps around right here. And through here. We're gonna obviously have to widen it up a little bit, but I was thinking essentially could be one of the little stations that would kind of go to the watch post. That looks fine. What is this song? Ordon Village. Okay. I don't know why. It kind of almost made me think of Mega Man Legends, which is a great game. I really wish they would release a collection of that game as well. Although, if they haven't done it yet, I doubt it's gonna happen anytime soon. Probably some, like, licensing BS they have to deal with. Kind of like how they haven't done any of the Mother games. The Earthbound games, for any of you that don't know the original name. Oh no! I didn't have fly on correctly. Okay, so I'm thinking come out like right here. And then... right here, and then turn, and then down to right here. How do I want to do this? I think I am going to need at least 3 wide to have proper support for these chains and such. I guess right here it doesn't matter so much, considering the situation of being attached to a already firm platform, but still. Oops. You know what? Also, kind of hungry right now. Not like super hungry, but I could use a snack. I guess I could eat the other half of that cocoa pie, but I told Stace I wanted to share that with them. Despite them saying that sharing the whole thing with me, or saving one for me, I think that one of the best things in life, one of the best experiences in life, is sharing something you like with somebody you love. And yeah, you don't necessarily have to be in love with that person. You can still love someone, like a friend, family, etc., etc. But the idea of sharing something you like with somebody you love is something I really enjoy and highly recommend for anyone. I think it's one of the reasons why people enjoy having kids so much. It's a lot harder for them to share things like that without being weird, you know? Especially because, like, what's the word? I don't know, it's just considered really weird to share things with kids, especially if they're not yours. But yet, there's like the whole Big Brother programs, which is specifically designed because, you know, kids, no matter the age, need adult figures in their life, people to look up to. And again, not like in a weird way. The fact that I have to even clarify that just kind of sucks. Yeah, like I believe everybody could use positive adult figures in their life. So at the end of the day, there's honestly not enough parenting going on in this, honestly, in the world. Let's see, it's going this way. So right here would be correct, but I feel like I went too far over. Or have not gone far enough over. Oh, shoot. But yeah, that's one of the things I love most, actually, about my YouTube channel, is that I'm able to be a positive influence on the world, if not indirectly, which allows me to share all my wisdom, all of my pain, all of my mistakes, and help guide a younger generation, especially one that maybe doesn't have somebody to do that and for them in their lives. Or maybe even just not enough, because sometimes, you know, like, the adults in your life will teach you everything they know, but maybe they don't know enough about the struggles you're going through. Which is one of the reasons why I enjoy sharing about my mental health problems, my trauma, my past, is because A, there's something you should never be ashamed of, and B, because I'm trying to find the wording for it. I got poo brain right now. And also because then you know you're not the only one struggling, and you know you can find help, even if it's not from me, it's from somebody else, because I'm not a trained professional. I don't pretend to know anything enough to really help people, and I definitely advise anyone to take my advice that I give with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, even though our problems are similar, maybe our situations aren't. So what's worked for me or what hasn't worked for me may be different for you. But the point I'm making is you're not alone in one way or another. Therefore, there's help for you. And of course, again, any of you that may be struggling are more than welcome to join my Discord, because there's plenty of other similar people on the Discord that would love to talk to you and also help you out. I feel like I've done a fairly good job cultivating a very kind, understanding audience, and the community I've built or have had help building, has been much better for it. So yeah, it is a great community, but of course if you would ever want to talk personally, I'm more than willing. Now granted, I don't have a lot of free time to talk to people, and again, I'm definitely not a professional, but if you ever just want to talk about your problems or ask for my advice, I'm more than willing to be that person for you. I'd be honored to be that person for you, honestly. So, you know, again, just there's people here for you, people that care, even if we don't know you. At least, not really. We do care. And we will continue to care. I think what I'm going to actually do is make this a narrower path. And then just have occasional wings. I think that looks better. Especially if you do something like a wall. Maybe a fence. Let's try a fence. But yeah, I kind of like the idea of that. I just don't like that they're blending in so much. But yeah, there's the old saying, like, be the thing you never had growing up that you feel like you've needed. And I always try to be that person that I needed growing up and never had, or even the few pieces I have had, I try to be that. Because I have had a fair amount of good influences in my life. Not nearly enough, but I had them. And I try to be what I didn't have. And be the best parts of the things I did have. I'm not sure if that's making a lot of sense. Hopefully it is. But yeah, little less, I don't know, a little less heavier of a topic. Since Risk brought this up earlier, I love all of you. I really appreciate that you've been with me for so long, or if you're new, just joining. It means a lot that you guys are here for me. And it's an honor to be a part of your lives as well. I have no idea how I'm going to make this ramp. I only have enough brain power to focus on one thing at a time. But you know what? I think the basics of the idea are here. So we'll just leave this here for now. Yeah, the idea is that this here... what I could even do is just kind of like go all the way across, over, and then down. Rest of this moon pie is looking good, or not moon pie, cocoa pie is looking good though. Alright. Last bite, and then I save the rest for Stace. Oh, that does remind me. The topic I actually wanted to bring up this week is relationships. Before I get too much into that, though, let me find my next project. You know, I don't think it would hurt right now to actually swap over to the other world. Let's see what we can come up with there. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Beautiful sunbeam. It's always really intense when it first starts off and then it eases out. Also, God, the hanging plants in the window, really makes this build a lot better. Like, look at that. All those little greenery pops and the shelf of plants and little vines hanging in the window. I knew my build needed something. Apparently that was it. Still thinking about like carving back this stone a little bit. There you go. That doesn't look half bad at all. I wonder if it would just look better without that awning entirely. Kinda, actually. Get rid of that piece too. See, what I'd like to do is also get rid of this. That is also where the library begins, so it's something I can really do too much. Oh well. Okay, so front yard is pretty good. I kind of want to mess around with the crypt area. I haven't really done too much with that. I don't think it needs to be super big. Let's just do something like right here, like we did before. That's fine. These graves, especially with this music playing right now, these graves totally look like ones you would see in like Legend of Zelda. I think these were just originally just plots and they didn't have anything in front of them, although I do like that a lot. I don't think a third row helps. No, I think the two in front of it's perfect. But I feel like that might be a little too big for this current build. Not theoretically, ideally I'd like to push that back one more, but I don't think I'd really have room for the fence. So we're just gonna entirely rebuild this because I really like the original concept. And then we're gonna try to make it better with what little space we had. Dun, 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 dun. 1, 2, space, and then here. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so relationships. I kind of want to talk to everybody about. And when I say relationships, I want to be very clear. These aren't necessarily romantic relationships that I'm talking about. It can be friendships, it can be family, it can be any kind of relationship that you have with another person. Now, I want to talk about this because I've had my fair share of relationships in both the romantic way and platonic way. And I think I've heard this piece of advice before. I have no idea what's going on with the Z fighting there. I've heard this piece of advice before, and I feel like it applies to every aspect of a relationship. It's a good relationship isn't somebody you have good times with, because you could have good times with anybody. Good times are easy to have with anybody. You know, maybe some people are better at it than others, but the good times aren't the things you should be looking for. It's the bad times. And by that, I mean, that who can you go to, who can you spend time with when it's bad, you know? So good times will always come, and it will always be fun when you have those good times, no matter who you're with. You can be with a stranger and have fun, you know what I mean? But it's those bad times that you really need to share with somebody. And you need somebody that's going to be there for you. And, you know, bad times suck no matter who you're with. But having somebody suck at having a bad time is way worse than somebody suck at having a good time. If that makes sense. Because again, anybody can be good at having a good time for the most part. I'm not sure if I'm doing a great job explaining that, especially because I have poo brain right now, but that's beside the point. I'm not sure how to word this technically. You can find love anywhere if you look hard enough. That's not to say what you have with whoever you love isn't special, because what I have with my partner, Stace, is very special. But the point is, you could love just about anyone, but what you get out of the relationship is very, very important. I would say far more important than the actual aspect of love, because you could learn to love anybody with enough time. My ex is unfortunately a great example of that. My most recent ex, I mean. So I didn't quite love her at first, and eventually I grew to love her. At least I liked her, and I grew to love her. And that's kind of how relationships really go, you know? Like, you don't really start off very close. You usually just start off as strangers. There's very rarely a time you start off and you're like, oh my god, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this person. And what is going on right here? But yeah, there's like even with Stace and I, like I quickly liked Stace, my current partner. Like, they were just an awesome person straight off the bat. But you know, like somebody I could be friends with. Not necessarily like immediate love. Although there were a lot of green flags that I was definitely attracted to. Like, before our first date even, they asked me if I had any triggers, anything I was uncomfortable with, like, you know, like even just like hugging or topics I didn't want to discuss. And nobody's really asked me that before. Nobody's really cared enough to ask. I actually really like that, how it is. And just the fact that somebody would do that, even, it just meant a lot to me. And so there were just a lot of things that I really appreciated about Stace right off the bat. But the love built with time, and we had a few times early on, like even they said, like, yeah, I wasn't super sure, like, apparently I was really weird on the first date, which, don't get me wrong, probably was. I was also really nervous, didn't quite know how to handle things. But I left a good enough impression that they were willing enough to give me a second date. And apparently the second date is where I really left my first real impression. And then, you know, there were hiccups along the way, like I would say or do something that just wasn't really, you know, like I really don't know how to describe it. It just wasn't attractive for a partner. But of course, I was also coming out of a really toxic relationship, and I was also just dealing with a lot of stuff at the time. I also still had a lot of room to grow. That being said, that is all my responsibility. Like, if at any point in time they were like, yeah, it's very clear you're not ready to date yet, I would have been, you know, really bummed out. But like, yo, I get it. I still have a lot of growing to do. But thankfully, it worked out a little bit differently than that. Just kind of feel like I'm rambling now without quite getting to the point. The point of it, though, however, is that you know, love and relationships grow into something more over time. And that is possible to do with enough effort and time with almost anybody. Give or take. Like, there's some people that are just like, no matter how hard you try, things are just never going to work out. But the point is, love isn't rare. The relationship itself is. Because you're only ever going to get as much out of your relationship as you put into it. And that goes to say the same about your partner as well. If you're both not putting in a lot of effort into your relationship, you're just better off being with somebody else or being alone. I see a lot of people, typically heteronormative relationships, I feel are the worst about this. Which is to say, a stereotypical man and woman. What you imagine is a very typical relationship in these regards. Those tend to be the most egregious offenders, in my personal opinion, because a lot of the time, the woman just feels like she's babysitting the man, and the man just like, I would much rather be out with my homies right now, and the fact that I'm, you know, having to be a dad and doing all this stuff sucks. And it's like, well, you would be a lot happier if you just weren't together. Just, I hate to say this, but like, don't be together if you're not getting anything out of this. They're both kind of very miserable. You typically see this also in older relationships, like boomer-esque. And it's just like, if you aren't going to be happy in your relationship, then you're doing both yourself and the person you're marrying a huge disservice. Because, like, if you're going to be miserable and the person you're with is going to be miserable, then why even bother? So yeah, the gist of that is make sure you're actually getting something out of your relationship, or don't bother necessarily. Don't be in a relationship just to be in a relationship. Don't be in a relationship just because you're lonely. That was weird. I swear I saw a light turn on. Oh, I did. Hello. I thought I heard you come home. I'll be right back, guys. Actually, it's almost time for me to start wrapping up. Ugh, just realized what time it was. Yeah, you know what? I'll wrap up this conversation, and then it will be time to go. But yeah, the gist of it is, like, make sure you're in a relationship for the right reasons. Don't just be in a relationship to be in a relationship. It's very easy to fall into that trap, especially because being lonely sucks. But of course, that also means that, for instance, if you are just I don't know, sticking it out in a relationship just because dating is hard or you don't want to be lonely, that just means you're essentially settling to be unhappy when you could eventually find someone that makes you happy. Like me, like I almost got stuck in my past relationship with my ex, and I would have been miserable until forever, I guess. Whenever I decided it was finally enough, that I was done. And that wouldn't have been fair to me or her. And thankfully, we were able to break that off eventually, and I hope she's happy now with whatever's going on with her life. But at the end of the day, like, it was very clear we weren't happy together. So even if she's not with anyone now, it's got to be better than what we had, at least in my opinion. So yeah, just don't just settle for relationships. Don't stick around in a relationship just because it's easy. In fact, don't do anything in your life just because it's easy. You rarely find happiness that way. And again, this does apply to every relationship in your life, not just your dating life. Literally, like, friends, family. If you are like with your family and like you spend a day with them and you end up miserable, every single time you end up hanging out with them, then that is not a healthy relationship in any sense of the word. So you're better off to just not have them in your life. As hard as that is to say, you're just better off. So yeah, just make sure your relationships are worth keeping around. It's not always that simple. I'm aware of that. Just keep that in mind. Do these not provide any light at all? That seems really dark. It's a little ominous having it like that. I do want more color though. We'll figure that out on another episode. That does look pretty good. I'm pretty sure this is like super close to the original design too, give or take a little bit. Ooh, I know what would look good. What if we did something like... not that. Yes, but like this. Oh, that's beautiful. And then of course you gotta put them in like such. Alrighty, this is looking pretty good. Ugh. Oh my goodness. The bleed over on stone is pretty terrible. Need to fix that. There we go. Looks pretty good for a gloomy place. I almost want to push these back one more and see what that looks like. I don't think that looks too bad, actually. Oh, by the way, guys, before I go, I did want to talk about one more thing, and that was a new board game I found. Which, by the way, before I continue on to a new topic, I hope that conversation has helped at least one of you listening, either live or otherwise. Yeah, some people just aren't worth your efforts. Anyway, new board game I found. It's called We're Doomed, and effectively the premise of that game is that the world is literally ending. You're one of 4 to 10 governments left in the world, and you're all actively trying to build a rocket ship together to bounce before the world ends. This looks good, but it's a little too big. You're all trying to contribute resources to the rocket, and then get the heck out of there before it's too late. However, it would be fairly easy because if everybody contributed resources every round, it would be as simple as building a big enough rocket that everyone could win. However, complications do keep arising, and yeah, eventually you're just kind of screwed. You're really trying to fight for one of the very few seats that are left on the rocket. There are even cards that say things like, you are now mortal enemies with another country. Pick your country, and as long as that country is alive, either one of you get on the rocket or neither of you do. So in other words, you both can't win or be winners. And if for whatever reason you can't force them off of it, using a card or otherwise, then you both lose. It's very interesting little game. Lots of fun. It's only 15 minutes long as well. It's timed, which is even more chaotic because you have to do all your turns, deal with all the complications, and keep trying to progress towards the end of the game. It's freaking crazy. I watched it on one of the Patreon bonus feeds of Dungeons and Daddies, which, by the way, if you've not seen that podcast, I highly recommend it. Great show. Highly enjoy it. Ooh, I think mud might actually look a little bit better. Well, I guess that's muddy roots. That looks terrible. Why does the mud look like that? It's purple. Need to fix that. That looks more like clay, I imagine would look. I'll have to see what I can do. I mean, that's a good texture. It's just not what I imagine when I imagine clay. Oh, soil might work. That looks good. I guess this also looks good, especially with the grass edges. It's just too light for my tastes. Also, it's just in the sun. That also almost looks like baked beans. Hold on. Got a big barrel of baked beans. I can't wait to eat that later. Put over a barrel of fire. And put that barrel over some fire. It's terrible, I hate it. Alright guys, that's a good enough time as any to wrap this up. This is a nice little addition, even if it's not too big of a one. We got it knocked out in about 30 minutes. That's nice. Definitely need to actually work on the rest of it, even though all I really did was rebuild what I took down originally. But it's important. It's here. It's there. Alright, you guys have a great rest of your week. I can't wait to see you guys. Actually, wait, next Sunday? Is next Sunday Christmas? I think next Sunday is Christmas, so we will not be doing it next Sunday. Not that I celebrate Christmas, but, you know, just so nobody misses out on anything. Alright guys, you have a wonderful Christmas, wonderful New Year's. I should be seeing you on the 31st, which is also New Year's. Shoot. We will see. Probably next, probably in January. And hello, 49. I said 40 night. I'm just actually wrapping up the stream for this week. So I'll have to see you next stream. But it's nice seeing you this stream, regardless, even if it's towards the end. Alright, I'll see you guys next week. Have a good week. Or, not next week. Oh, it's so... I'll see you guys next time, whenever that may be. Who knows? I might try